Welcome back. You're watching Power News. In a move to help quicken the flagging pace of distribution reforms in the power sector, the Union Finance Ministry has approved the creation of Rs 50,000 crores National Electricity Fund, first mooted in the 2008-2009 budget for attracting investment in this area. The ministry has also agreed to provide an interest subsidy for lending under the fund. With this go-ahead, the Power Ministry is set to seek cabinet approval for the scheme after inviting comments from different departments. The huge AT&C losses, which touched a record high of Rs 40,000 crores in 2009-10, ensured the disability of most SEBs to raise money or to do so only at very high rate of interest. The new fund will address this issue. To talk in detail, we have with us Mr. Naresh Narayanan, CEO BSES Yamuna, Mr. Ajay Kapoor, CFO NDPL, and Dr. Pawan Singh, Director Finance Delhi Transco. Welcome to Power News. Mr. Narayanan, first of all, I'd like to ask you that the tax holiday for power sector has been extended by a year. How would this affect the power distribution business, which has massive capital outlay for strengthening the distribution system network?
See, the tax holiday essentially is for the generation projects, and when it's extended by one more year, that means those projects which are coming into generation by 31st of March 2012 would also enjoy this tax holiday. It's only going to put that much more extra, resource burden on distribution companies to disburse about 150,000 megawatt planned by the end of the 12th plan. Additionally in the country, you have to require about 4 lakh crores of distribution assets to be created. So that's a big ask. So that's where most of the distribution companies are concerned, how to mobilize this fund. We are sure that the distribution sector will also have some matching kind of investment plans. So there would be some suitable policy directives to support this kind of a growth initiative.
Mr. Kapoor, what do you feel about this extended tax holiday for power sector?
Yeah, that's probably one of the only proposals on the direct taxes front in the current budget, which is of significance to the power sector and even distribution sector. So most of the distribution sector organizations which are about to finish their modernization process by 2012 would be able to take benefit of this holiday scheme. I must add, however, that this tax holiday gets diluted to the extent MAT is applicable on the same organizations. So MAT of 18.5% would dilute to the extent this tax holiday would benefit those organizations.
Mr. Narayanan, distribution segment is the backbone of power sector. Do you feel the expectation of power distribution sector has been met in this year's union budget?
Well, there's not any specific reference of distribution sector in the budget pronouncements. There are certain derived benefits for the sector, like in terms of the corporate tax issues, which would also help the distribution sector. But specific to distribution sector, we expect some kind of policy announcements soon.
Mr. Kapoor, how do you look at it?
See, current budget doesn't have much for power sector, both direct taxes and indirect taxes, except ATIA extension in case of direct taxes, and probably removal of surcharge. But to that extent, MAT has been hiked from 18 to 18.5%. Whereas on indirect taxes, there is some reduction or exemption of duties rather on certain items which are used in power sector. That to that extent, we would have some benefit coming to power sector. Otherwise, budget is quite tax neutral for power sector as a whole.
We come to you, Mr. Singh. In a move to help quicker the flagging pace of distribution reforms in the power sector, the Union Power Ministry has approved the creation of Rs 50,000 crores National Electricity Fund. How would this help in meeting the fund requirement for most of the SEBs that are not financially sound in raising fund for modernization and improvement of the distribution system?
Still, we stand at more than 33% distribution losses. And as long as distribution losses are there in state power utilities, it is like a bottomless pit. So you will keep on putting funds and funds will keep on leaking out. So you have to plug that kind of thing. So it has to be interlinked, entwined with that kind of thing. And also, so if, and this 50,000 crore is, again would be, of course, it would be a support. It would definitely assist in meeting the capital requirement, but it would be just a portion of the total requirement. A large portion again has to be generated internally. And that can only come if, these companies become financially viable and they financially turn around. And once they financially turn around, then they may not also so much depend on this kind of support. Then they can go to the market and borrow.
So, Mr. Singh, what is it that you'd like to suggest for the National Electricity Fund dispersion among public and private utilities, both in generation and T&D segment?
One is that fund should not be confined to only state power utilities. It should be available to all three sectors and also to public and private sector. And apart from that, the fund which goes to state power utilities should be somehow interlinked with efficiency performance and performance parameter. And the structure of fund should be such that, it from both from the interest point of view and from tenor point of view, that it has minimum bearing on the tariff.
Our panelists feel that though we don't have any specific scheme for power distribution, but the tax holiday could be useful for the DISCOMs which have massive outlays in the coming year. As far as National Electricity Fund is concerned, it can also meet the fund requirement of the power sector up to some extent. But mostly the efficiency and financial turnaround of the state utilities would be crucial in the long run. Thanks for joining us in Power News. With this, we come to an end of this edition of Power News. Hope you liked the discussion. Keep sending us your suggestions and views at powernews@zenetwork.com or call us on 011 405 60701. As always, we look forward to your feedback. Do join us next week for more news and updates. Till then, goodbye and take care.